Hello and welcome to another fine episode of Who's That Anime? Golden Boy,
Hi.
and you
That's right.
you love it, really.
Love is a strong word.
Do you know it's brought to you by the studio that brought you Naruto?
I did not know that. I did notice that the people who published it on on Crunchyroll were also responsible for Charge Man Ken. So I was like, oh, okay. So they took some hard up anime shows and like put them on.
Yeah.
Oh God, yep, that seems to be working now.
Uh,
Hang on, double checking that I can hear you.
okay. Yeah. So not only did Naruto, but they also did um Battle Angel, the original OAV.
Yep. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Damn.
what's another one? They had Oh My Goddess. That's another one that came out by them.
I remember that.
And something else, but I can't remember what it is now. So it doesn't matter.
Such classics.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, we have lots to talk about this week. This is our last Golden Boy episode.
very much so.
We're going to cover episodes 5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6, the last two OAVs of Golden Boy, and boy, oh yeah, revving to go, Steve.
It, I wish you wouldn't use that turn of phrase, but yes, I'm sure I'm ready to go. Uh, I right. Okay, let me just start. So I hated this episode. I hated episode 5. I hated it so much.
Yeah,
It was so awkward throughout all of it. I have written more notes for this episode than I have for any other.
combined.
Uh, yes,
Cool.
yes. I have written so many notes. Starting, of course, is that this episode's name is Balls to the Wall,
Yeah, balls.
or sorry, B at symbol exclamation point $sign to the walls.
Yeah, you got to censor that stuff, man.
Yes, because they definitely censor other stuff. Um, this is quite an episode. So, starts out as always on his bike
Mhm.
on the mountain pass, and then a woman on a motorbike basically just drives past him really fast, and he's like, "Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to follow her."
Oh, did he?
But he
Yeah, he
says,
did. Yeah.
"Well, he says an encounter on the mountain pass." He stops to say that. I don't know why. I thought it might be a reference to something, and I cannot think what it is. I also noted that, as with many of the female characters in this show, the the clothing is not exactly um, suited for its intended purpose in this scenario. She's definitely not dressed for the slide if that bike were to fall over.
Well, at least she's wearing appropriate biker gear.
No, she's not.
She is.
She's not.
She's just not wearing it
She's
right.
basically just. I don't know. She's sort of just wearing what I assume it is faux biker gear that's spandex, or it just doesn't look like biker gear. It looks like biker gear, not worn like you should wear it. I suppose you're maybe right.
It's leather. It looked like leather biker gear suit. So when she falls off, she doesn't like just scar the entire arm off by the friction of the ground as you slide.
Well, the low cut V in the biker suit is probably going to cause more of a problem, I imagine.
That wasn't a low cut V. That's just her not zipping it up.
Oh no, I know. That's an incidental low cut V.
She
Uh,
has quite large breasts in this one.
she does. I mean, that's a kind of running theme, I guess, with the more powerful women in the show. So,
I
like,
suppose
particularly, I suppose,
rich people, yeah.
in episode 1 and episode 4, the swimming one.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the other two women I would sort of put her up against.
Okay. Yeah.
But so basically, yeah, he has his encounter in the mountain pass, and then decides he's going to follow her, and then ends up getting a job as like a servant, I guess.
Yeah, he goes to works in a rich estate. You seem to be missing the start of it where she's just like riding her bike and going, oh yeah,
Oh,
revving up while drinking
that's
beer.
right.
And it did make
I did. I did write the sentence. Did she just fuck her bike? I forgot to say that. Yeah.
what? Forgot to say that.
Uh, I mean, I'm gonna say it, and then there's also like the amazing innuendo of kickstands and tailpipes and all of this like loaded language is being used.
Loaded.
It's very awkward. She's also drinking what I can only assume is like the mid '90s equivalent of a can of Monster. Uh,
No, no.
no,
I'm sure Kitaro referenced it as irresponsible because it's actual alcohol.
it was alcohol. Oh, fair
I think
enough.
she's drinking some beer.
So it's a Four Loco then.
For low. Aye. Uh, and then
But he of course keeps the can because that's important. It's a plot device
there's a plot device for later. Sort of.
in what can only be the worst way possible. I think yeah, because he of course while she's fucking her bike, the he's of course just looking at her, and then she like looks over at him, and like the kind of animated face of the oh shit, of the hang on, uh,
Oh shit!
that type of expression that he does is disturbing.
That's where he pulls his eye out.
Yes, it is fairly grotesque.
It's
So yes, you're right. And then he follows her basically from there.
yeah, he follows her, and so happens to end up working the same in a estate.
Yes, as a servant guy who what is it? He has to be gracious. Has to be gracious all the time.
Yes.
Super gracious. Except his posture sucks, and the guy beats him for it, and some other bits.
Oh yeah, he's
he
learned
seems
learning his way.
he's learning so much.
He's learning so much. He is.
And then, of course, as with any of these episodes, it would not be complete without the young daughter, the 20-year-old daughter, I think they say, of the person, the estate owner.
Possibly.
And she's very prim and proper,
Hmm.
but reminiscent of someone else potentially. Hint, hint.
Oh yeah.
And then we get back into our sort of old ways, and the old ways of this show, where he is cleaning a room, right?
Cleaning the toilet.
Yeah, but it's her toilet, I think, or the toilet she was last on, of course.
Yeah, and he's
Uh, yeah,
back to the old ways, man.
yeah. Toilets are back, and he's fucking the toilet. Apparently, kind of.
Yeah, it's one of those crouching toilets too, so it's the little basin ones, not like the normal toilets you see in this country.
It's
And he starts grinding it. Yeah, pretty much.
it's just
It's like,
so weird.
and then as
It gets better though,
as
because she's there. She's there the whole time.
yeah, that's always he gets caught.
She's there. Yeah, he gets caught, but she doesn't say anything. She just watches him continue, and then's like, "Oh well, everything seems in order here," and then just shuts the door. it's it's such a weird power move. It's like
Yeah.
yes, this is very unusual. Oh well, everything seems good. Better leave him with his toilet.
And then
Oh.
he creeps by her room and notices a bowl or something.
Yes.
And he goes, "Oh, better
Yep.
taste
It's
that."
the cup she was drinking from earlier, yeah. Oh no.
And then he takes a lick, like a cat licking their food out the bowl. And then he goes,
Is
"Hmm."
the like proper chibi animated expression as well,
Yeah.
of just like eyes and the tongue flicking out.
Yeah. And
Oh.
and then he goes, I wonder what that tastes like. And then here comes that can. Can's back. He starts licking the can. And they're like, And then licks the bowl again.
Oh.
And then licks the can. And then licks the bowl. And then
He remembers her.
yeah. Well, sort of. I think. I don't know.
He positively identifies one woman as another woman because he recognized the taste of her saliva. Can we just
Oh, wait, what?
just
I
think
thought it
about
was
that
the
for a
fact
minute?
that it was just the same beer.
I don't know.
I mean, there was no.
That's not what I took from this.
Your mind's just in the gutter, man. This show's ruined
No,
you.
it's not.
It's ruined you.
This show has wrecked my life.
You shouldn't have watched this. You shouldn't have watched this.
It's just, oh man, that is, yeah. You're absolutely right. This show has ruined me. I have immediately thought of the worst.
Because it was never actually mentioned in the show. He just does it and goes, and there's like a connection. But like, he doesn't say,
Yeah.
"Oh, that tastes just like her," or "Oh, that's the same beer." Because
No, because that would be weird.
immediately he gets
That would be weird.
immediately gets kicked out.
He does, and I assume it's probably related to the toilet antic. But
Yeah, I think so. So
because she says it's like, search deep within yourself and you'll realize why you're being fired.
yeah,
And then, of course, as always, when he's faced with being fired for being a pervert, he gets quite indignant about it.
yeah, he does. Oh, we kind of missed a bit. So before all this, he kind of like sees the lady and gets all the cold shivers type things with her and drops some big tables of food and gets flung underneath
That's
a
right.
waterfall. And he says something about learning.
Yes. This has been very educational.
This has been very educational. And he repeats that mantra quite a few times in the first half of this episode.
There's another mantra that we will talk about in a bit once we get to it. But this is the right. So this okay. I dread to say this next sentence, but this is when it gets really bizarre to me. Is that after he gets fired, he sort of just. Well, actually, when he gets fired, the show gets like really meta for a second, where he says like, "We haven't even established the subplot yet." It's like, wait, what? Never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
It just cuts away. It's like, oh, that was a very odd moment. Almost a bit prescient to the last episode, I feel. Maybe. But then then it turns out that he just kind of decides to live in the forest outside of where he just got fired from.
Yeah, literally up on the other side of the road lives in this forest for 23.
Because he thinks something's going on.
Yeah,
23 days. Yeah.
23
He
days.
carved it into a tree.
Yeah, just so they know.
Oh my god.
And he was about to leave when the lady of the manor gets into a car and drives away.
Yep.
And then he decides to follow her.
Of course he does.
Yeah. Where she finds her in a building on her own.
Having sex with a bike again.
No. She was naked first.
No. Oh, she's naked? Yeah, you're right. She's naked first. Then she starts having sex with the bike.
And he peeks through the door. Like a
He does.
good proper sex fiend that he is.
Yeah. He,
So
he's super into that.
yeah. Anyway, she catches him, so he comes out and goes, "Yeah, sorry,
Of course.
I been like spying on you, obviously." And then she just basically belittles him and all mankind by saying, "You guys are boring. I love my bike." What's it called?
I can't remember, but she like I think I might have deliberately removed it from memory because she says it about 9 billion times in the last however long of this episode. Just keeps repeating over and over and over about how great her bike is and how it's better than any man.
Something like Bing Bong or something like that.
Yeah, it's like Bingba 500 or something like that. I don't know. Oh, actually, no, I'm getting it confused with his bike, which is the something 500.
Yeah. Yeah, and then yep, pretty much a bit of foreplay on top of the bike, naked,
Yep,
So-
naked.
and he's got a hard on,
Well,
and she challenges him.
of course she does. It's the typical challenge is the sort of she's like, I guess we could have sex if you prove that you're better than my bike by beating us in a race.
A motorbike.
And it's at this point you realize is that she's going to be riding a motorbike, and he's in a fucking pedal bike.
Yeah, but they're
Like,
going downhill.
yes, they're going downhill. That will definitely not help the motorbike.
No, it will not. No.
So it seems as though this would be destined to failure immediately,
And,
but it's not.
no, because he's gets the thought in his head and mans up and does the impossible.
You say man's up. He basically almost commits suicide by throwing himself down what I think is a storm drain section of a mountain.
Yeah, there's certainly concrete layered pipes of a mountain, and then lassos himself onto a Porsche that she overtakes, and the guy in the Porsche feels very inferior to her, and it's like, what?
Well, that's because, and like I've written this down specifically because the Porsche bit is great because it's this like weird monologue inside her head where she's like, there's a Porsche driver. You know what they say about Porsche drivers? Tiny penises. And it's just like this really odd monologue. And then she properly revs up the motorbike and yells, "Out of my way, pencil dick."
Yeah.
Like that genuinely made me burst out laughing. It's like so stupid. It's like a 5-year-old's insult. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Although I did notice that all of her dialogue does sound like it's being recorded through a Pringles tube for some reason. Like, I don't understand why. None of it sounds right. None of it sounds right.
Well, you know, it's better than what was it? Might be the next episode. There's a weird dub in the next episode.
There's weird dubbing in all the episodes.
Yeah, there is. Anyway, so he ends up lassoing the Porsche, decides to start racing her because he was like insulted, and basically holds this rope while he's flying around the corners, and he's like riding his bike, flying around the railings, the barricades of the mountain pass.
He then uses his lasso to lasso a pylon?
Yeah, because I think it was a cat or a raccoon or something walked in front of the.
I think it was a tanuki.
Or maybe it was a Nikki. But it was some form of animal, mystical beast.
Yep.
Cross pass into the road, and she swerved, and the Porsche driver went, "Oh shit!" And then he kind of like swerved and spun, and then next thing you know, Guitarro is bouncing off the bonnet and flying in the air, still holding on to this rope. But he don't even know what he caught in the Porsche, to be honest. Anyway, that's not
spoiler.
Was it a spoiler? And that
spoiler.
Well, this whole episode's a spoiler. I mean, it's only what 35 years old.
No, it's not as old as that. It's 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And anyway, yeah, so there's a spoiler, and he launches off the bonnet of the Porsche because you know it's carved and flies in through the air, over the side of the road, lying almost down, I don't know, good 500-foot drop off the edge. And he goes, "Ah, lucky I got my rope," and lassos onto like the pylon, and then swings himself up, and then manages to land on the cables. You know what
Yep.
I was thinking? He's better than that mountain bike guy. It's really famous. This guy, Danny.
Matt Hoffman? Oh no.
No, Danny McCaskill. McCaskill?
Oh, the guy from Edinburgh.
No, he's from Sky apparently.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I guess he just lives in Edinburgh because he does a lot of his stunt stuff out there.
Actually lives in Glasgow now. Anyway, yeah.
Oh wow.
So
Gets about.
yeah, gets about Scotland. All he does, all his videos are about Scotland. Anyway, so he's better skills than him. So he's like riding this pylon for in the ages.
I have written, and we're gonna talk about the fact is like we may have jumped the shark. this, this might be the proper first. I don't think what you're doing is now possible moment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is probably the most unbelievable episode of the lot, apart from the
And
fact he's
then,
getting away with pretty much.
well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But he does this talking about mantras as we did earlier. I don't think, other than sort of congratulating himself on like using his lasso, the only word he's used for the last 10 minutes is the word study repeatedly as he's cycling.
Yeah.
It's proper lunacy. He's just lost his mind going study, 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 while he's cycling everywhere.
Well, you know, in these kind of situations and what he's actually doing right now, I suppose you got to kind of focus yourself on something, otherwise it'll just go Pete Tong, you know, all wrong.
Definitely focusing himself on study.
Yeah, he likes to study. We know this.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
loves to study, and of course, she's starting to worry that maybe you might win this somehow. Maybe I should try harder. And then he like comes down off of the pylons onto the road.
Yep.
They're sort of neck and neck with him slightly ahead, and he's grinding somehow round corners on this bike, like going super low, like a super bike driver. And she's like, "Oh, how's he doing that?" It's like, "Oh well." And then of course he's heading straight down, right the way to the bottom of the mountain, to where there's like road signs that are saying it's like, "Oh, the bridge is out," and then it's a 90-degree turn to the left.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you should stop. You're not going to be able to slow down."
Yeah.
And then she realizes that actually, I don't think he wants to slow down. He's just going to jump it.
He's to jump because this bridge isn't built yet. And it's like, all right.
It is literally. It's the scene from The Simpsons with Homer on the skateboard. It's like there's just literally no way he would ever be able to clear that distance at that speed on that piece of equipment, and yet you're like, oh, maybe. It's like, no, he can't. He can't do that. And it turns out, yeah, he can.
No.
He's just kind of yippee-ki-yays into the air and then gradually descends into the forest below.
Yeah, and then she's like, she was like, oh yeah, well let's do it, and then at the last minute she's like, oh wait, no, I can't do that.
Yep, she decides to stop.
Yeah,
because she might have more brains than him,
a bit more sensible. And then he lands.
Well, yeah.
And then he's like, oh shit, he actually kind of beat me and was better than me type thing. But oh well, it's a shame that he died.
I thought they were. For a moment, I genuinely thought they were going to kill him. I thought that was it. It was like, yep, this is the moment. He's just going to die. He's just going to die. Like, because realistically, that's how he would go. Doing something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
but they didn't.
No. I mean, he didn't get electrocuted on the pylons.
No.
And he didn't die from a good 200 feet drop down. maybe more.
No, he seems to have survived fairly well on the other perils of the road, as it were.
Yeah,
So
he
who knows?
he lands, and she's thinking he's dead, and like, oh no, and then he just pops out the forest, right at the bottom of the hill, onto the road again, and still pedaling away.
Studying away.
Yeah, and she's like,
Still.
oh shit, he's alive. I better try and catch up with him, wearing his hat because
Yep.
his hat flew off.
Yep, of course his hat flew off, right?
Yeah,
And of course she's yelling the whole time about how she now wants him to sleep with her.
yeah,
Because he has proven once and for all that he is better than her bonobo bike or whatever it's called.
yeah. Her bike, and he's a man worthy.
Yes. Yep. But of course he just keeps cycling, as always.
Yeah,
And we get to the usual bit where he talks about that he's 25 years old and he's on his way.
yeah. But you also get to find out that his brakes are busted, and that's why he can't stop.
Yes. Forgot about that. Yes. He literally cannot stop. So
I mean, he could probably just
oh god.
take his feet off the pedals and stop pedaling, but
He could, but he's studying still.
he is studying not that
So
well.
so quickly.
Not that well.
No.
Yeah, and that was the end of that episode.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Oh, I must admit, the first half of it is just so awkward and terrible, and then the second half of it had me laughing most of the way through. So it's sort of, on balance, yeah, it sort of worked out
Yeah,
better, I think.
yeah. The end of the episode
Uh,
certainly balanced it out. First part was like, oh,
So yeah, it's a bit of a cringe. So, how do you rate it, Colin? How does it stack up?
trying to think, what is my ratings from before?
Okay, let's just reminisce here. So, episode 1, you gave a 7.
Yep.
Episode 2, you gave a 4.
Mhm.
Episode 3, you gave a 6.
Yeah.
And episode 4, you gave a 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was just wrong. The last half certainly improves the whole episode by a good bit. I say from when I say the last half, is it the last half? Maybe the last quarter.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I suppose it's maybe not quite the last half.
yeah, because and the first half was kind of nothing happened. He did his toilet humor joke and powered on the woman, and then she
Yep.
was quite sexually aggressive to her bike. Would be the term, I think.
That is the term, you're correct.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it. I think I'll go with a 5. I think it's in the middle of this one. I don't think it's as bad as 4,
That
but maybe that's just because I'm a male. You know.
I think we're gonna agree on this one, Colin.
Yeah, 5. Wow.
I think I do hate this episode because the majority of it's trash.
Yes.
But the last section of it is genuinely funny
Mhm.
because it's so dumb.
Yeah,
It's so dumb.
it is.
I will probably also give this a 5. So that for me, I think ties quality with the first episode, which just has a general air of awkwardness running right the way through it, with a couple of laughs rolled in for me.
Yeah.
So
Apparently,
I think I've also given a 5 to episode 3.
because of the wholesomeness of it all.
Yes, that's right. The wholesomeness on that one. Boring but wholesome.
Yeah.
Episode 3. Man. Okay, so
This is it. This is the
This is,
final episode.
yep. This is episode 6. Animation is fun.
Animation is fun. So,
Man.
for this one, he starts off in an interview getting shouted at where he has a bike and not a car, as it was requested in the advertisement for the job.
That's right.
I wanted a car. Do you not understand what a car is? It has an engine.
He's like, yeah, I do understand what a car is, but I'm still here for some reason.
I have a bike.
And of course, somehow still manages to get the job.
Well, no one wants to be hired because of the work part.
That's right.
Essentially.
She explains, it's like, yes, please forgive him. We don't get many applicants because of the terrible working conditions. And it's like, well, why are you here? Why is anyone here?
Because I don't know. I don't.
It's
Hey, what happens in the anime business? I think the work tight deadlines, overworking, manga. You hear it all the time. I don't know if it's changing anytime.
almost like the games industry.
Yeah, yeah, almost like the games industry. Um,
I've written here that this is definitely further down the meta rabbit hole.
yeah,
Like, this is very weirdly Inception-y.
it has some.
So look at all the effort we went to make this for you.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was trying to
Very odd.
sell, and then give people the impression of how the animation studio works. It seemed quite in detail.
I must admit, like, I found it quite interesting. Like, some of the stuff, like the like, for some reason I didn't understand the difference between like the keyframe animators and the in betweens. Like, that's not something I knew.
Yeah, gives you some insight. This one. This is actually
Yeah.
learning, studying.
It was very educational.
Maybe we don't work in the
not in a pervy way.
we don't work in the animation business, so we can't really confirm this or
No.
deny this.
It seems like it was trying to be genuine
It's
about its
yeah, or maybe
about its information in this one.
for the time, I think, yeah, and the low budgetness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he ends up getting a job, and that's the credit scene. Roll the credits, and then he finds out that all he's really doing is delivering cells, animations, and stuff to like other people, and being a general dog's body. Well, what he was called, the assistant trainee producer or something.
He's God, I can't remember, but it doesn't sound like what he should be doing. I get the feeling is like you would equate it to someone like a runner on a TV show or a movie set.
Yeah, yeah, seems something like that. He just basically goes out so other people don't have to, essentially.
Yeah.
Um,
Gets people food.
yeah. And then this episode, he gets called Golden Boy too.
He does. I've written that. I've written it said, where is it? Oh shit. He said the name of the show! Exclamation points. It was so funny. I don't know why it made me laugh so much. It's like, we better, what is it? We need to trust that Golden Boy is going to do it, or something like that. And you're like, oh man, he said the name of the show. This is the greatest.
Yeah, so that's further along down the line.
So good.
So he
So good.
is it a colorist that she does? That he's perfect on.
Yeah, she's a colorist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the girl that his eye is on in this episode.
Of course, because he's measuring her up with his eyes.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy the fact that he seemed to correct himself on her measurements by half an inch.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that seems like a measurement you could eyeball and correct yourself by.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe this guy can.
I bet he can.
Yeah,
I bet he can.
Because he's studying all the time, man.
He's always studying. Always studying.
That's so wrong. All right.
I can't remember. Like, I'm trying. Basically, the next sort of thing I have in my notes is the guy that they're doing the movie for comes to visit with his assistant.
No.
Or with somebody else, or have I skipped a bit?
Skipped a bit because he kind of describes his job, talks to the lady, because
Mm-hmm.
she's kind of nice and he's kind of nice to her. Yeah, nothing untoward, except that he eyes her up. And then he goes to speak to an animator who's drawing other animation cells for their other movies
That's right.
because they do a bit of hentai in that studio. Well,
Yeah,
apparently.
they do.
And then they compare boobs and like have a talk on which way they like the nipple pointing when they draw the boobs and stuff like that.
It's a very serious conversation
And then he gets
about
yeah,
boob drawing.
very serious. It's like half a minute or longer.
It it might go on for a full minute.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Now they went into some detail on that, and it's weird. Anyway,
It is unnecessarily long and awkward.
yes. So then there's the producer. The producer shouts at him.
It's like the director, not the director. He's the sort of the owner of the company, I think.
Yeah. He shouts at us. I told you to clean the place before our visitors arrive. And then
Oh, that's right.
and then he starts cleaning, and then the guy, the famous man, I believe he's also voiced in maybe in the Japanese by the actual guy he betrays.
The guy's name is the manga author.
Yeah, yeah,
It's I can't remember his name, but yeah, like he's basically playing himself.
yeah. He's basically playing himself. And then
As we say, it gets further down the meta rabbit hole.
yeah, and the other person is the sponsor. So the person
That's right, the sponsor.
the person that is giving them all the money to make this show. And then once Kintaro finds out it's this guy, he was like, "Please give me your autograph." And then she's like, "What do you think? What are you thinking that you merely autograph something for a mere peasant or peon?"
Yep,
And
and he does.
and he does, and he's like, "Oh, you're very gracious. Well done." Actually, butters up the author, and then shouts at the director ownership of this company.
Yep. She's very concerned about them meeting the deadline.
Yes, and
And he seems like it's like, well, it's going to be difficult to animate. It's like, well, that's the first time I'm hearing about that, and then I recognize every conversation that's going on in here.
you're well versed in that aspect of business.
Yes, I'm well versed in that.
Yes,
But yeah, so he still seems confident that they'll manage to deliver on time.
yeah.
So she goes away, not happy, but she goes away.
I don't think she's ever happy.
No, that's probably true.
Yeah,
That is probably true.
and
And then my next note, I'll let you explain where we're at, because my next note I think is maybe where we're going.
trying to think what happens after that. There's some like
Well,
more time.
I think
he starts cooking a meal for them because he was going out and he's like, "Can you get me this?" And they're like, "All right, can we get this noodles from udons from?"
oh no,
such and such?"
that's later on.
That's later on.
Yeah, because that's when he wants to he wants to cook them vegetables so that they don't get scurvy. Is that there?
I think that's about there.
You know what? I think you're right.
Yeah.
Man, that's much earlier on than I thought.
Yeah. So he starts cooking the vegetables in the sink outside the toilet.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's very key to the plot that there's a toilet right there.
yeah, it's like only 2 episodes out of 6 don't have toilet scenes in them. I mean, I suppose it's the last episode. They got to like, they got to do it in this episode if they were going to do any ARs.
They do.
Uh,
So yeah, my next note is more toilet stuff.
yeah. So what's her name leaves the toilet. And it goes,
the colorist.
The colors, yeah, and she's like going, "Oh yeah, that's great. Oh, you're really looking out the guys," type thing. Is, "Oh yeah, I'm getting praise," and then he'll realize that she came from the toilet, and then goes in and does his toilet thing with a knife in his hand still.
With a knife in his hand still. That's very important.
And this time it wasn't the lady catching him do that; it's his boss. Well, bossies. And then he startles and almost cut his eyes out.
That's the thing is like he says, "Hey, what's going on here?" And he turns around, and it's just like a close up of his eyes, and his fringe just falls away. And like my next note is legitimately, I thought he'd killed the boss. Like I thought, like it was gonna be like proper old school anime of like the top half of his head just going sliding away.
I thought he sliced him at least, yeah. But no. It
Oh
was
man,
just...
no, just the hair.
And then next scene, he's thoroughly beaten up, as he gets sometimes. His face,
He is.
his body reacts pretty quickly to a beating.
It does, and he heals up relatively quickly.
Yeah,
as well.
it's almost like Wolverine.
God, I don't think we're ready. The world is ready for a perverted Wolverine.
Snick.
Okay. Yes. So then he's out and about in the sort of desks area and realizes how much of a mess it is, and is like, maybe I should like clear up.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And then you got...
And I noticed that
Oh,
they inserted real photos
yes.
of desks.
Yeah.
There was just like there's like a half-eaten burger, and the plate. Oh, it's just gross. This is such a mess.
Yeah. They put real pictures in. Oh, I was impressed. And then it's this bit coming up. Maybe it's just me and potential questionable thoughts on this, but it's like there's a black person, dark, like animator, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And
The big guy.
and he comes up and speaks, and it does not, to me, in my thoughts, doesn't sound like that's the type of voice for that character.
Nope. The character voice they chose for that was all wrong.
Yeah,
Just all wrong.
yeah.
It's very weird.
Oh, it's so weird. And he then beats him up because he's lost all his position in his work that he tied to the desk.
Yep. Doesn't like it being tidy. He doesn't know where anything is now.
Yeah. And then it progresses.
So of course.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, you go on.
Because then I think we have the return of the sponsor and the author, and she's now not particularly happy because it sounds like they're going to be late because their latest report is showing that they're not going to be finished on time. And he's like, well, maybe we can work in like a little bit of a delay here. It's like, no, that's not how this works. And then poor colorist who is bringing out some drinks or food or something accidentally tips them onto the sponsor's chest.
Yes, chest.
Specifically.
Yes, yes.
And the bit I don't get is like, of course, all of a sudden Kentaro just springs into action with like a cloth to mop it up. But like I noticed there's like animation timing for that segment where it shows like a count of the frames or something like that.
Yeah.
Very weird.
It's like, I think it's maybe a timer, and maybe like
Yeah.
show how quickly he reacts to spillage. And it was like just
I don't understand what the reference was.
just over 2
It's
seconds.
super weird. Yep.
It was like the only
They've never used that before.
Right, it's like the only time they did that. They were like, "Oh, let's put this in here," and he's like really quick because he notices, and then of course where it spilled was
Yep.
on the upper chest, let's just say that.
Yep.
And
He just jumps on in there with a cloth and
yeah,
waves it about.
yep, and she gets very upset and tells the boss man is like, "If you don't finish on time, I'm going to end you." I think was her words.
Yep.
Uh,
I think, like, quite rightly, like, that seems fair. Like, from what's just happened, you'd have just been better apologizing for spilling something.
yeah,
But
I think she was.
you know,
and then he jumps in the hatch. Anyway. And then he's like,
Yes.
okay, right, we really need to pull this together, guys. So we're going to get, once lead animator or director comes back, we're going to get this
The
started.
director.
And then he takes a phone call. And he just chips in and goes, director's been hit by a car. And it's like, you should probably just maybe like keep that on the low for the second and maybe just tell the boss man.
It's so good because like the team are like, oh, I don't know, and he's like, I think we can do this, and he's like, well, maybe we can do it, and he like just gleefully is like, hey, so the director's been hit by a bus and is now in the hospital, and he just like apropos of nothing, like just so cheerful, and then you can watch everyone's mood just be like, no, we're screwed. It was a nice try. I think like at that point there's legitimately someone who says it's like maybe they're hiring at the Speed Racer studio.
Yeah. It might be that.
So good.
Or it might be the later. But yeah, so the boss man is he turns into a werewolf or something and says, "Don't look at me," type thing.
That's right.
And he has claws.
And the colorist is looking at him in the face and being like, no, don't
Yeah.
don't look at him.
Yeah.
He's something bad going on here.
Yeah.
But then of course Kintaro wants to fix things, as is his desire sometimes. And he's like, well, if you're all gonna struggle to get this all done, maybe we could like use some sort of computer graphics to get it done. And like, that would take time and it's expensive. And he's like, wait,
I
know someone that can help.
Yeah.
And it was at this moment I realized it was like, holy shit, this whole episode is basically just, it's like three kids in a trench coat of like references to previous episodes. And I've written, no way, episode 1 callback.
Yeah. I was I kind of when I knew it was like 6 episodes, I was like, oh, I bet you 6 episodes will have everyone for all the previous episodes in it, regardless of how it finished. And it's like, what? And then yeah, so he calls her up and she's like, oh, Kitaro, thanks for like being great, type thing, even though like she literally fires him for being a fucking idiot. Like,
But he did fix everything in the end up.
Oh, he did, yeah. He fixed it all in the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Of
course.
So, oh yeah, we can maybe try and do that. It's not our specialty, but we'll look into it. So they get on it. And then does it go?
Oh, he needs like, it's like, so what do we need? What else do we need? And he's like, I need reference for like scene 284. And it's like, he's like, perfect, I know exactly who to call. And then calls up the swimming instructor. It's like, literally, episode 4 callback.
Yeah, literally beat him up and kicked him out at the job. And then she's like, oh yeah,
but of course,
sure, I'll do it.
He was still good at the job.
Yes.
He still changed the way that they taught.
Yes. But still, he exposed himself inappropriately. Anyway.
He did.
So easily forgiven, apparently.
But she's like, yeah, you can like, I just need some reference of you swimming. And she's like, oh, yeah, no problem. We can do that. It's like, oh, okay, awesome. And then it's
voice acting, I think.
Okay, yes, voice acting. So then it's episode 3 callback to the schoolgirls.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Sorry, you're right. Episode 2 callback.
Yep. And so, they're not nervous at all. They'll be perfect in the job.
Nope. Talk about bad dubbing. That guy who's working in the sound booth. That's bad. I almost am convinced that was a deliberate decision to make that as bad as possible because of the job he had as the voice director.
Maybe.
That would be a proper meta step and choice.
I think this show can be quite deep at sometimes.
Sure, when it wants.
When it wants to be. And
so that was episode 2 callback, and then 3.
Yep.
We get episode 3 callback because they need people to cook,
Well, Charles.
or they need food.
Yeah, so she brings in the noodle balloon for the food. She's going to cook for you so you don't get scurvy.
Yep, Noriko.
Yeah, Noriko, yep.
I now remember her name.
The only girl we were mentioned by name.
Yeah. And then of course, like, everything's kind of coming together, except they need something, and this is the point where, of course, it's oh my god, he said the name of the show. He's like, we need to rely on that golden boy. Oh my god,
Yeah.
he said golden boy.
Yeah. So it's basically, they were saying, oh, we're getting everything done now, but it's the legwork we need to kind of get done, so the traveling for the film and all that crap. And it's like, oh,
That's right, yeah.
it's all right, boss, I'm on it. And he runs out to studio and frisbees the fucking film at
Yep.
the last on the bike.
Call back to episode 5.
Call back to episode 5. Yeah.
Oh man, it's all happening. It's all happening.
Yep.
And then it turns out he's successful, and they're able to have a viewing of the animated feature, which is about an Oni that attacks young schoolgirls.
Young kids, I think. I don't think it's just girls.
Yeah. So yeah, and they're all sort of like having everyone is there at this viewing party. All of the previous leading women from the episodes prior, and all of the animators and the sponsor and the author, they're all there watching, and he's loving it. He's loving watching it until he realizes that nobody else seems to be enjoying themselves at all.
Yeah, they're all caught in the moment, it seems. And
Yep. And he starts to panic.
yeah, and the director, boss man, has his hand in his head's in his hand and looking upset, and Carlos is taking all these notes.
Yep.
And everyone's just sitting there quietly, and he's going, "Yeah, this is great," type thing. And then he's like, "Oh shit, maybe it's the stuff I made changes to in it. They don't like." And then he
Oh shit!
Like that.
like that, yeah. And then bails. And he didn't see the whole
Yep.
this whole thing. And by the time it ends, everyone goes, "Yeah, that was great." And then
Yep. Everyone's on their feet applauding.
yeah, everyone's happy. And so they would start. Well, oh wait, Taro's left. And then
And all of them are angry.
all the previous episode girls are angry that he's gone and done a runner again. I mean, the person that said it was the swimming instructor who literally kicked him out of the pool and told him to pretty much stop.
Yeah. If you wouldn't mind fucking off and dying, that would be great.
Yeah, pretty much was her attitude. And she was like, "He's done it again." And it's like, just you threw him out, and rightfully so.
But you hate him,
Yeah,
but also love him for some reason.
yeah. Anyway, so they all climb in the fancy sports car of the lead software developer,
And the bike.
and got the bike. Yep. So they're in the
Yep.
chasing them down the coastal route in Japan. And he is somehow cycled so far ahead on that they can't catch up with him. Potentially, I assume that they went the wrong way.
I mean, one would hope so. Otherwise, we're back to episode 5 and his superhuman cycling ability.
Well, we do know about
Perhaps
that.
he just went took it off road and did some whipping.
Well, you do see him cycling.
Basically
Yeah.
just caused him himself across the map somehow.
Yeah, he's now in the opposite end of Japan. I mean, you do see him on the coastal route, so he is on a road when you see him.
You do.
And
Yeah, that is true, and they are also on a coastal road.
yeah,
So
but then Japan is an island,
facts. It is.
so it could be anywhere. You literally could have gone in the wrong direction. But yeah, so that's the end of that episode. And the girl just stays behind because she's like, he showed me how fun it is to do my job, type thing.
Yep.
I thought in that episode that he was actually going to finally settle down with with one of the girls. I had that feeling.
So I uh I, I suppose it's any one of those things. Like when I said I thought they were genuinely going to kill him off,
Yeah.
but it seems like the things that you think might happen don't tend to happen in this, because it just seems to always stick to that formula of him cycling off into the sunset and leaving everyone else behind.
Yeah, it's almost like a western.
Yep. And today he did it for the last time.
He did. He finally cycled off and never to be seen again.
Apparently the manga gets pretty dark in places.
Yeah. Jesus.
I mean, I can imagine. So I don't know if I want to read any of that. So
I imagine it might also. I don't know how. It's an erotic comedy, so it might get
an eromedy.
a comedy, a rom com. No zombies. There's no zombies in this one. Yeah. So that was Golden Boy.
Yep, that's it. And here we go, Colin. What do you rate the last episode?
Oh, the last episode. Last episode was good actually. I liked the last episode. I think it was a good swan song for the show.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree.
I'm going to probably rate it as high as first one. 7.
7?
Yeah. I think I'm going to go up there.
We are in sync tonight, Colin, because I was also thinking 7.
Wow.
So there you have it.
What about
Just gonna.
you just going to average scores out for the
I am going to average the scores out. Ugh. Yeah. Average of about a 5 for you.
All right, okay. Running it down or up?
Down ever so slightly.
All right, okay.
8. No, wait. 9. 12. 15. 4. Yeah. An average of 4 for me.
Yeah, that's about right. I figured you'd be a bit lower than me. Thought you'd be
Well, yeah, the middle tier, the middle episodes were not so kind.
one and 6.
There's a 2 and a 3 in there, so
Yeah,
it gets pretty low.
it is. Yeah, so that was Golden Boy. Are you happy that you watched it? I mean, you're giving it a 4.
I'm gonna say, so I think I'm gonna try and explain this to you, and maybe you can get this. Is that watching anime is not something that comes natural to my interest.
Okay.
I like it.
Mhm.
So I like certain things about anime. I'm not like, I wouldn't watch anime like I would watch a TV show randomly, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So typically, I'm very picky about what I watch.
Mhm.
So I watch the shows that I'm pretty confident I'll enjoy. So like I've watched stuff Hellsing, Trigun, Full Metal Alchemist, Escaflowne, Serial Experiments Lane, a lot of stuff, or like Tower of God, In the New World, all that stuff. Like where I'm fairly confident that I'm going to like what I'm watching.
Yeah.
I am there's a deep concern in me that I have ruined my ability to now just pick up an anime because I watched an anime that I did not think was great.
Oh, Golden Boy.
That being said, it is it's sort of like equal parts terrible, corny, and quite funny when it shouldn't be sometimes. I'm glad I watched it because the dub is terrible and hilarious in every way.
Yeah.
And as I will play one of my favorite moments here.
Since I didn't have a computer, I had to teach myself using a keyboard made of paper.
Stuff like that is golden. It just it some of the stuff, some of the moments were particularly funny. In fact, one of the moments I forgot to talk about in episode 6 is that after he like gives her breasts a good feel to try and clean her, she punches him while yelling right hook.
Yeah, she does.
She telegraphs it, and it's so good. It's so perfect. I don't know, like I think it's really interesting because I feel like there's someone who actually genuinely understands humor in this, because there's stuff in here that the comedic timing, like if you even go back to like episode 1 where he looks as if he's going to interject and help with the Yakuza while that old man's being accosted, and it just shows him like walking very close and then just taking a direct route down an alley to avoid it at the last second. Like that's incredible timing.
Yeah.
The bit with the computer, the all of that sort of stuff. I think there are episodes where there's a lot less of that stuff. Like episode 2 is not great at all. Episodes 3 and 4, like we say, there's wholesome stuff. It got kind of boring, and then the swimming episode, which maybe the less said the better. But then, like, I feel like the episode 5, which is also kind of gross in so many ways, I think has so much comedy in it that it just balances out. So, like, it's a really difficult thing to rate.
Yeah.
If anything, like, I feel like the 4 in there is just like they have a clear understanding of how to write comedy in certain circumstances, but that's not what their primary goal is. Their primary goal is to be grossos.
Yeah, it's meant to be pretty much like a pervy guy that's been incredibly pervy. I mean, this is the stuff that there are people getting put in jail for.
Oh yeah. I mean,
mean,
he's definitely
I mean,
risking jail time
if this,
in any other country.
if this was like a famous anime or anything like that, it's still going on today, or decides to try and make a comeback today, it's just going to get cancelled, like Pepe Le Pew.
Yep. I think the there's even a line in the last episode where he's like, "You can do so much more with animation than you can with real life." And you're like all of this stuff. Because if you tried to get away with any of this with real actors and actresses, you'd be fired.
Yes,
It just wouldn't be okay. Animation does sort of like get away with stuff like that. I do find it interesting. I'm like I say, I'm glad I watched it. I think that was definitely an experience in itself.
yeah.
Are you glad you watched it?
I suppose I can't. I think I might have watched the first episode way back, like way back, like 2002 or something. Somehow you got hold of like the series then. But yeah, it was questionable then, questionable now. It's not in any way right, except for maybe the if they cut out all the wrong and had like the comedy bits in it, it would work. Still, sorry, it would didn't have to
It would
be.
also be less than the runtime of an episode.
Yeah, I mean, like they could maybe tone down his gross um in inappropriateness, gross and inappropriateness.
Definitely a lot of inappropriateness.
That goes to say some of the girls were also fairly inappropriate in 2
Yeah.
and 5. Yeah, that's probably
Yep.
maybe 1. I mean, you generally don't walk around in normal clothes with that type of outfit. The kind of
Eh,
fancy dress.
I'm not gonna yuck someone else's yum unless it's potentially illegal.
Yeah. Oh no, and that's
Which in a lot of circumstances, his stuff is pretty illegal.
yeah,
Uh,
illegal. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was certainly watched it. I don't say it's
I think
a bad experience as such. It's like, yeah, this is what kind of thing can happen in these shows, and yeah, it's not right.
you can sum it up in one drop.
Life is a mystery.
Yeah, they do that pretty well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
Such education.
such education. Study, study, study.
Study, 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 study. Yeah. How about that?
Do you think he says that when he's masturbating?
I mean, probably. It did occur to me that, if that's the sort of raw, horny energy that he was using to power his bicycling, that he probably does shout that while masturbating.
Oh well. Yeah.
On that note, what are we going to watch next, Colin?
We're watching Ghost Stories, I believe. The dubbed version, because
Yeah.
apparently that's just off the chain.
I look forward to it. So there's 20 episodes of Ghost Stories?
Something like that, yeah, 20 or
So what are we going to do? We're going to do 4 episodes a week
yeah, so that's
for 5 weeks?
5 weeks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's double check that. Ghost Stories.
Yep.
MMA. Season 1. Came out in 2000. Finished in March. No, it finished March 25th, 2001. Well, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 21 episodes, man.
21.
Yeah.
We'll maybe have to include an extra one at the end.
Yeah. So you want to try and get that down to 5 weeks then?
Yeah, let's do 5 weeks. I think we can figure that out. I'm gonna have to step up my game and start watching shit earlier.
Yeah, you got to start watching it tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I better get on that. Is it? So you've already started watching it?
Yeah, I did turn it on.
Is it good?
I can't say for sure because I did say I watched episode 1, and that's technically true. It was on. I just went to make some tea.
Fair enough.
So I got like
Excellent.
the first part, and it's like, is that dubbed? Is that the really bad dub? Because it seemed quite tame at that point. But I don't know. Some people are claiming it gets some messed up dubbing. Like,
Awesome.
would probably get cancelled in today's culture again because
Oh,
it would. I think it would.
good choices.
Yes.
Good choices.
So maybe this podcast
yeah.
won't be around for much longer.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We won't be cancelled. We're just commenting on weird stuff.
Yeah, and agreeing it's inappropriate.
Golden Boy is very inappropriate.
If you like to watch inappropriate things, and I don't even call it as ichi. Is it ichi? Where it's not quite hentai level.
Ecchi.
Ecchi.
Ecchi. Yeah.
Where it's not quite. It's not even like that level. It's just he's just wrong. He's just wrong. He acts.
He is. He's just wrong.
But he's got that weird attitude of being wrong, but he's not incredibly wrong. He has a righteous sense in him. He won't do anything essentially untoward intentionally. Well, I say that and watching reminding me of episode 1 where he chased the girls because they were like sea base. Oh, wonder what that is type thing. Oh, fucking hell, man! Right.
Good times.
Yeah.
Well,
so
we will see you next time then, I guess.
Yeah, see you next time. Still playing through Minoria. Minoria?
Mm-hmm.
You got some of that. What do you think of it?
I did. It's nicely animated.
Yeah,
It looks pretty.
yeah.
It looks like the kind of game that would drive me nuts.
Well,
Which probably doesn't take much, to be honest.
well, it's fairly straightforward. It's not like Hollow Knight, where you're well, it is a bit like Hollow Knight. You're continually lost, but not as bad because it's not so fucking vast. On that, it's still
Hollow Knight was good until I couldn't figure out where the hell I was going.
yeah. Hollow Knight is good, but if you get lost in it so fucking easily. This one is another Metrovania style, and it's close. It's a much smaller map, so I think I'm maybe near the end. So, chance to the last stream on Monday night.
So, well, we're recording this on a Thursday.
Mhm.
I like to try and get this out on Friday. So,
Yeah,
give that a watch
yeah,
if you get the chance.
yeah. Catch us on the Couch Fuel here.
We will be back next Thursday to discuss ghost stories
Yeah, 1 to 4.
in what is technically season 2 of Who's That Anime?
I suppose it is season 2. Who's that anime?
Yeah.
That's.
Man, the seasons go past quickly, don't they?
I mean, like we're all in spring, so it's just like winter. The last one.
It's very true.
I can't believe you laughed at that. That's terrible.
I'm obviously tired.
Oh, good excuses. Yes.
Right. Have a good one, folks. We will see you next Thursday for another episode of Who's That Anime. Join in Couch Fuel streams on Monday if you like for Minoria.
Mhm.
And we'll see you in the new week.
Yeah. See you there, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.